I want to ask you about like some rivalries now. So like the biggest rival for Nigeria is Ghana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, geographically, because of they are both in West Africa, so regional, yes.
Okay.
But there's also other rivalries
Yeah,
like
what are the
Egypt,
other rivals of Nigeria?
Egypt, South Africa. They are always
South Africa.
yeah.
Why
kind
South
of
Africa?
because of the economic powerhouses in Africa.
Okay.
The two biggest economies, South Africa and Nigeria. So they always like based off of that, they're always kind of aware of each other's presence in different spheres of expression, like sports, um, technology, tourism, travel. So that tension spills into sports naturally. So South Africa always look at Nigeria like if they can beat them, they rejoice better than if they beat like Tanzania or some other people. So same thing with Nigeria. They've always had that rivalry. So there's other ones too. Mm-hmm.
Is Egypt a rival because Egypt has the most AFCONs and they're the most successful team?
Yes, and Nigeria is supposed to be up there with Egypt. So Egypt has been always organized, so being closer to Europe, they tend to manage their football profile and history better from what they learn from over there. So they've had better successes again because they're better organized.
So what interests me a lot about the Asian Football Confederation in particular is the fact that you have a bunch of different ethnic groups and cultures competing underneath the Asian Football Confederation. Like with CONMEBOL, South America, it's exciting because the quality of football is very high and there's a lot of like history with those countries.
Right.
And there's only 10 of them, so they play each other quite often. But there's not that added like geopolitical element to the competition. So in Africa's case, do you think there's any type of rivalry between the African countries and kind of the Arabian countries of North Africa? Do you think anything exists there?
I think the rivalry exists on the history of colonialism, the French, the Francophone, and the Anglophone.
Okay.
More so than the ethnic.
Interesting.
Yes. So because it's always part of what people complain about who gets the Africa's Footballer of the Year every year. Some people believe there's a tendency that it goes more to Francophone players.
Interesting.
Than Anglophone. Like you look at Eto'o, you look at Yaya Toure, and all these people. And then Mikel Obi never got it. And then Okocha, like we said.
That's crazy. Yeah,
yes.
That's
so
crazy.
People believe that there is politics because Issa Hayatou was the president of CAF for almost 29 years. So from there, it filters down.
It's a long time.
Yeah, Francophone. So he himself even made a comment that he regretted that during his tenure, Okocha did not win that. But some people believe he was part of why Okocha did not win that.
Yeah.
So there is this pull back and forth on the historical colonial history of the African continent, more so than the ethnic. So it's more like Francophone and Anglophone. Ghana, Nigeria, these are the Anglophones. Cameroon, Ivory Coast,
Interesting.
Senegal, and all the North Africans. So they kind of radiate that brotherhood on that level. So that's where the tension is. So there is even more tension between Cameroon playing Ivory Coast. There's also that Francophone rivalry. And then there's a cross rivalry between the Anglophone and the...
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Cameroon was playing Ghana, it would be like, okay, this is the Francophone versus the Anglophone.
Exactly, yeah. And then when they're choosing officials to officiate those matches, they have that in mind. Because people believe that if Cameroon is playing Nigeria and you bring a French-speaking referee, the tendency will be that he will skew more towards being helpful to Cameroon than, And there's been instances where that's been proven. So it's not just a blind speculation.
So what's the solution? Do they bring in a foreign
The
ref?
solution is now technology. VR helps. It kind of, you know, neutralize a lot of those things. Yeah, VR is it's a good place to be. It's a good thing in soccer now. So that helps. And then again, African journalists who are instrumental to depace the direction and the landmarks of soccer in Africa, they are very instrumental. They vote in certain things like Africa's Word of the Year and things. There are more Francophone journalists. Again, people believe the tendency is that they vote for the Francophone player. Salah, Mane, Toure, all those other guys. Not that they are not great, they deserve it, but they don't recognize equally the input of especially people from Anglophone. So there's always that dynamic everywhere in the world. It's not like typical in Africa. Everywhere people have cliques and clans and groups and politics in families. Everywhere is the same. So it's there too.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know going back to Asia, it'll usually be like the Arabic countries typically vote a certain way, and then the East Asian countries vote a different way, and it's that kind of causes issues sometimes when voting for like where the next Asian Cup is gonna be, or like presidential races, Asian Cup council seats and stuff like that. That's very interesting. I wouldn't have thought it'd be separated by language. I would have thought it would be separated by ethnic group. You know, like I would have thought if the final is Algeria, let's just say Congo. I don't know if Congo's ever made it to an AFCON final. They probably have, but I would have thought that most Nigerians would root for the Congolese versus the Algerians in that case.
Language is a very
I guess they'd be Belgian speaking, but
it's a very strong component in the dynamics. That's
super interesting.
How they relate to each other, because it affects officiating. It reflects in officiating, and many times they are careful not to, to select people that appear neutral. Probably if Senegal and Nigeria are playing in the final, they want to make sure maybe Ethiopian or somebody from abroad. So that French speaking and English speaking thing, is a very strong component.
That is so interesting
of the dynamics in African soccer.
That's fascinating.
And journalism and awards and all those things.